Today I am sharing the most delicious recipe for pumpkin bread. Isn't this the time of year when it's crisp outside and you want something warm inside? What better way to bring in fall and to continue relishing in this wonderful time of year than to bake a delicious loaf of pumpkin bread? This recipe is so good, it's so easy to put together, and I can guarantee you are gonna love it. Check it out. Here it is. This is everything you are going to need to make the most delicious loaf of pumpkin bread. Actually, this is so good. The best part about it is this makes 2 loaves of pumpkin bread. You can freeze one, you can give one away, you can eat it all up as fast as you want, whatever you want to do. These are our ingredients. I'm going to walk through them. We have flour, we have sugar. This you can't really tell, but this is water and canola oil. We also have a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. This is 100% pure pumpkin, and you can pretty much find that anywhere. I try to stock up on this when it goes on sale. Some places this might cost you $2 or $3. I found a few cans, not this brand. This one was probably $2 or $3, but I did find some recently at an Aldi for, it was less than $1, so I stocked up on that. Pure vanilla extract here. Don't get the fake flavored stuff. Get real vanilla extract if you want the best flavor that you can get out of this dessert or treat, whatever you want to call it. I also have a recipe for homemade vanilla extract too. It's really fun, really easy to make, and beautiful to give away as gifts. I'll make sure I link that recipe in the description box below for you. Anyway, moving on, we have 4 eggs. This is our cinnamon and our nutmeg, if you can tell. That's 2 different spices, or yeah, spices in there. And this is our baking soda, baking powder, and our salt. And then I have sour cream. The moistness of this bread is going to come from the canola oil and from that sour cream. I'm telling you, it's amazing. This is going to be the recipe that you go to. Before I get to doing the mixing, one of the things I love most about this recipe, not only that it makes 2 loaves, like I mentioned, you can freeze one, like I said, but what I love about it is that you don't have to have a mixer. You can use a wooden spoon or a whisk. I'll show you what I use in each step of this, so you can do the same thing at home. I do have the KitchenAid mixer, and I do have like the handheld mixer that you plug in with the 2 beaters on it that spin, but you don't have to do this with this recipe, which is what makes it so great. All right, let's dive in. Also need to mention that I have my oven heating up at 350 degrees. Now, I had everything in separate bowls just for the sake of having everything all laid out all beautiful, but if you want to start with a larger bowl and just have your sugar right in there, you can certainly do that. So that's the first step. You're going to have your sugar in the bowl, and next you're going to add that oil and water mixture right to that sugar. This is when you use your whisk. You're gonna get it all mixed up like that. You're gonna notice that that sugar gathers kind of in that whisk right there, so you just wanna knock it out as you go. And once that gets combined, you're gonna add in your eggs. Next, you're going to add in your pumpkin puree. You want to see another one of my favorite kitchen tools? Oh, the spatula. I love these spatulas. They came in a package. I got them from Amazon. They were to my house in 2 days because I have Amazon Prime, but they have a few different sizes. I'm obsessed with them, and I actually created an Amazon store so I could show you all the products that I use. That's linked down in the description box below if you want to check this out. And it's in the section, I believe, titled Kitchen in my Amazon store. So I'm going to open this up, and then we're going to scoop everything out so we can get every bit of this 100% pure pumpkin goodness into there. if you wanted to use a mixer for this, you certainly can. No big deal. But where you need to be careful with a mixer is when you get to the step where you add in the flour, because you don't want to overmix, okay? If you overmix, you're going to develop the gluten in this pumpkin bread, and then it's going to change the delicious texture that it's supposed to be, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, check it out. All of our wet ingredients are beautifully combined, and now we're going to dive into our dry ingredients. Oh, wait. I forgot our vanilla. Oh, I could smell vanilla extract all day. I love making my own. It's so fun to make it, and I love, like I said, to give it as gifts over the holidays. You do have to do it though ahead of time. So there's my timer telling me that my oven is ready to go. You know, you saw a little bit extra drip in there. A little extra vanilla never hurt anyone. But that was 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Okay, so I'll set that there. And we're going to make sure we get that well incorporated as well. All right, so now I'm going to set this aside. I'll move this over to... Oh my goodness, I forgot one other thing. I'm a mess. Our sour cream. You got to get that in there too, right? What in the world is going on with me today? Anyway, all of your wet ingredients in one bowl. How about if we just say that? This is like the secret ingredient, by the way. I also have a banana bread recipe. It's in my first cookbook. I'll link that down below for you too. But that banana bread recipe is, you know, everybody who makes banana bread says my recipe's the best. My recipe's really the best. But the secret ingredient is the sour cream. That's why it's so delicious. You don't put a lot in there so it doesn't taste like sour cream. You just do a little bit and it's absolutely amazing. Okay, now we can finally set that aside. And now we're gonna work on our dry ingredients. Remember our baking soda, baking powder, salt? That goes in there. Remember our cinnamon and nutmeg? Oh, you guys, the smell. It just smells like fall. You put that in there too. A lot of recipes do call for allspice. If you want allspice, more power to you. Go ahead and use it. I'm not a fan, so I leave it out. Ginger, if you like it, use it. Like I said, I'm not a fan, so I'm gonna leave it out. Check it out. Isn't that gorgeous? So I grabbed another whisk because I don't want the wet from this whisk to interfere with any of my incorporation of the cinnamon, the nutmeg, that brown, or not brown sugar, that baking soda, baking powder, salt. You need to have a dry whisk. So have 2. Or you can get a fork and just make sure you combine really well, okay? So here we go. This is our flour mixture. Now, this is when you're gonna wanna get rid of these whisks. Because if you try to use the whisks to combine these 2 things, whoops, there went my vanilla. I'm glad that didn't fall. Oh, all that work I put into that vanilla. Anyway, if you try to combine these 2 things with your whisks, I can promise you it's gonna get messy, okay? Now you're gonna transfer some of this over to this. Little by little, you can do half, stir it up, do the other half, stir it up. All right, watch and learn. You probably already know, but I'm gonna do it for you anyway. Here we go, whoops, put a little on the side there. Uh-oh, you don't wanna leave any of that goodness out either. Just dump that right back in there. All right, we're gonna about half of that flour in, you see that? And then you're gonna give it a gentle stir. Again, if you wanna use a mixer for this process, you can, go for it. I'm gonna try to get this in the middle for you. There you go. You wanna use a mixer to do this? Please do, you go right ahead. Just make sure you don't over mix. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna do this until it's just combined, like I'm gonna do, whether you're using your mixer or whether you're using a spoon. You're gonna go till it's just combined, and then you're gonna scrape, okay? Once again, put your flour in there, and you're gonna stir. Now, remember those whisks that we were just talking about? They're gonna make a return, let me tell you. And I'll tell you why. When you're not using a mixer, when you're using a spoon like I am, this is gonna look a little lumpy. Don't worry about it, it's not a big deal, but you do wanna get those lumps out, okay? So you see how I'm just getting this beautifully combined. Oh gosh, I wish you could smell this right now, okay? So now we don't have any more flour left to mix in, okay? Spatula has made a return. I love the spatula. It's a good one. You know what else I like about this spatula? That it doesn't have the removable piece there. If you have the kind that like detaches, that was like the old school ones. I remember my mom had those when I was a kid. If you don't, or if you do have that kind, you know, mold can grow up underneath of there. Who knows if it's getting in your food when it gets wet? I doubt it, but I like the spatulas that are like the whole one piece. All right, here comes our whisk again. Again, don't do this until your flour is all incorporated so it's not so messy, but you're just gonna go in here like this, and you're just gonna stir vigorously for, I'm gonna say give it about 30 seconds, okay? It's not gonna be perfectly smooth. You are gonna see some lumps in there, not a big deal, but you want it to be smoother than it was. You don't want any big fat giant lumps in there. But if you see a little something in there, don't sweat it. I promise it's not a big deal. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Smooth for the most part. And you don't want to stir much more than that, okay? If you want, just to be on the safe side, to give that bowl one more last scrape, just to make sure there's nothing left in the bottom, you can do that. Give it all one last whisk just to be on the safe side, and that's it. Leave it alone. Less is more when it comes to this pumpkin bread. All right, up next, we're going into the pans. Here we go. I have 2 loaf pans here. These are your standard loaf pans. They are sprayed with the nonstick cooking spray. Make sure you don't skip that step. Even if you have alleged nonstick pans, take the time to make sure you get these either sprayed, or whether you're using the butter and flour or vegetable shortening, whatever you're using, make sure you have something to help you get these out of the loaf pans, because it matters. Okay, there's our beautiful mixture. Oh, okay, we're gonna pour this in. As you can see, I have my spatula in hand. I love that thing. And I'm gonna use it as we get down to the end of this. I'm being really careful to try not to get this on the sides. I mean, here, I'll turn this so you can see it better. If it does, it's fine. You can always wipe it off, but I try my best to get it in these nice and neat without too much of a mess. Okay. Oh, there it goes. I spoke too soon. Oh well, that's okay. Now, I like, look at me flinging it everywhere. I like for these to be relatively even, and I'm seeing that I have a little bit more in this one than I do in this one, so I'm just gonna go like this. I'm gonna scoop a little bit out and try not to make more of a mess. I should probably use like a measuring cup or a spoon, but why would I want to do the right thing, right? Obviously. Okay, I'm gonna get these cleaned up. I'm gonna pop them in the oven at 350 degrees. They're gonna bake for round about an hour. Could be a little more, could be a little less. You're gonna test with a toothpick to make sure that toothpick comes out clean, and it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna clean that up too. All right, let's get it done. Also, if you're interested, if you want to see how I do this, I have a clean dishcloth here. You can use a paper towel if you want, but I'm just gonna go along the sides here with this clean dishcloth. I'm just using the dishcloth in the name of being environmentally friendly. Look at this, all on the, you can't even see it. Look at that, all on the sides. Oh, anyway, it is what it is. All right, let's get this done. Ooh. There they are. Those are our 2 loaves of pumpkin bread. Those baked for about 65 minutes in a 350-degree oven. You guys, I wish you could smell what this house smells like right now. The smell of delicious pumpkinness and that cinnamon and the nutmeg, it's being thrown all over the place and it smells so good. So just took these out of the oven. I'm gonna let them cool for about 20 minutes in this glass pan, and then I'm gonna turn them out. Pray they don't stick, which they won't because I did what I was supposed to do. And then I'm gonna cut into them so you can see the deliciousness inside. Now, one thing I wanna say, if you like walnuts or pecans, or you like to just load up your pumpkin bread, go ahead and throw 1 to 2 cups of whatever kind of nut it is that you like in the batter. If you wanna really get beautiful with it, you can put a design with whatever kind of nut is inside on top before you bake it, or you can cover the entire top with the nuts as well. Oh, can you imagine how beautiful, how festive, and like fall vibe or holiday vibe, whatever you want to do. You can do it year round too, but oh, so good. All right, stay tuned. Here we go. We are going to turn these out. This is always the moment of truth when you are making pumpkin bread. One of the things you can do, here's a little tip. You get a spatula. Now listen, it has to be a proper one, like that really thin, flexible edge. And you can go around the sides of your pan like this to make sure that it's nice and detached, I guess, before you flip it out. If it's super hot, this has cooled off for a while, so it's okay. But if it is gonna steam when I flip it out. But if it's like really, really hot, which it shouldn't be too hot because you do need to let it cool a little bit before you take it out. Anyway, you can use like an oven mitt or a clean cloth on your hand. I don't need to do that right now though. I'm just gonna do this. Please don't stick, please don't stick. Look, it didn't. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the bottom of that. That, my friends, is perfect. Can you see the steam? That's perfection. I'm gonna flip out the other one. I'm gonna set it here to let these finish cooling off for the rest of the way. Now, these do need to be cooled off. I'm gonna say 90% of the way. Do that math, right? But they do need to be mostly cooled so they don't fall apart when you cut them. I'm telling you, it's worth the wait. I promise. I've let that pumpkin bread cool, and let me tell you, perfection, okay? Ignore the not done nails. I know I need a manicure. Look, you guys, it's so perfectly moist. You know, you hear a lot of, like on the show, sometimes they'll talk about the crumb of the pumpkin bread. It's perfect. I mean, it's perfect. Now, here's a little tip that I have for you. When you're done with your pumpkin bread, wrap it up in some plastic wrap, okay? Whole, just, I mean, you can slice it if you want, but put it in a container with an airtight lid, or wrap this in plastic wrap. You guys, the next day, that top will be so nice and moist, and it will make your pumpkin bread even better. All those flavors develop over time. I'm telling you, it is amazing. Now, see, I've broken that one up, but I'm just gonna show you a little something. If you're serving this to a crowd, you know, and this is popular this time of year, something you can do to make this, make a little cute presentation, it's pumpkin bread. Try to always, you know, put a little something out there that lets people know as soon as they get it what it is. Obviously they're gonna see, oh, there's a little pumpkin, that must be pumpkin bread. They won't think it's something like banana bread or some other kind of loaf, right? So anyway, here's this pumpkin bread. You have got to try it. You are gonna love it. I hope you like that recipe. Please do give it a try and let me know what you think in the description box below. Also, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe, and check me out on Instagram at Creatively Bambi. I hope you can make that pumpkin bread. I bet you're gonna love it. Thanks for checking with me today. I'll see you next time.